Dear plant lovers, welcome to Bangkok International Exotic Plants, where hundreds of vendors from all over the world showcase the newest and trendiest plants to the market. This is for the year 2024 and beyond. This episode is very long and dense with information, so I encourage for you to watch it over a few sittings so you don't feel overwhelmed. As a plant expert, even I must admit that I'm seeing most of these plants for the first time myself. This exhibition is filled with rare plants, and many of them were recently discovered or created by very determined hunters and growers. Anthuriums still dominate the market, but we come across a plethora of gorgeous variegated and mint alocasias. These alocasias will certainly be a major plant trend this year. Keep your eyes peeled on the many forms of Monstera Thai constellation, as well as variegated philodendron hybrids and beautiful variegated homolominas. If you frequent this channel, you would know that I share the same fondness for non-aroid plants, so we come across a wide variety of rare and interesting plants that might have strong implications for the future of houseplant market and also in landscaping. Where possible, I include the name of the booths and prices of the plants, but for those of you who want to make a mental conversion for the price tags shown here, $1 US is equivalent to 35 Thai baht. Now, shows like this is important as major players from all over the world converge to trade, diversify, and distribute these plants back in their home countries. It is also in these shows that we get to spot plant trends, whether you're a rare plant collector or a landscaper. If you've missed this show and would like to attend the next one, Bangkok International Exotic Plants happen every quarter, and you can visit their Facebook page for the latest. Alright, let's get on with the show. This is a very auspicious start of the event by the entrance. Look at how crowded it is. So we're on the first day, and I think there's some repotting happening for the staghorn fern, and a really wonderful booth here for the staghorn fern. The name is Fern Owl Crew, and look at how beautiful this is. I just filmed an episode in Taiwan for the staghorn ferns. Feel free to check it out if you want to see some interesting rare varieties. But a lot of them are coming out from Thailand as well. I don't know how much of this background noise I can handle. I might do a voiceover at some point, but look at these cute baby platytheriums. They all have names on them. Feel free to reach out to all of these vendors if you want to see more stock. I'm sure they have way more stock than this. Naturi Lab. This is a tissue culture lab. I'm going pretty fast here, so feel free to find them on Instagram or Facebook if you need more information on any of these plants. My plants in love. This is a bunch of different stuff. They have Hoyas and variegated plants. And then the local from Singapore. Also, I think a lot of variegated plants here. I'm trying to see if any of them stand out, but I don't want to spend too much time on each booth because there are like way too many of them here. As we come up from the escalator, this is their main photo booth. But look at this beautiful heliconia display they have here. And all these aroid leaves, they just strap them on. They cut them off from the plant and strap them off right around here. This is quite interesting display. They went all out with this. Dong Paya Farm. We're gonna see mostly aroids in here, but I'm gonna try to do this thing where I show you the overall booth in a flash, and then show you one plant from the booth that stands out from each of these booths where possible. Beautiful dragon variegated, and this is the Clavigarum variegated. Interesting. Sea goose and friends. Ooh, that's a little doggy happening here. Hello. Anyways, we featured this in the last tour, which is Lana Exotic Plants. I'm going to link that episode up above to show you what that show looks like. And for this booth, I think what stood out to me was probably that blue oil fern, the Microsorum thailandicum. This is one lush pot that looks really, really happy.
And please have fun, and don't forget to check in and hashtag to our page. And furthermore, if you're hungry or anything.
This is woody plant. A lot of variegated plants here. Some Rhaphidophorus,
Pomalominas, a lot of them coming from Thailand. The Rhaphidophora tetrasperma variegated, and of course this proud display of Alocasia variegated. They're coming in hot in tissue culture, and you see a lot of really wonderful variegations from these. That one looks like a mint. My gosh, it's a mint Alocasia. That's really cool. First time seeing this one. Mama Treehouse. What a name. We have a large Monstera deliciosa variety. This is probably the mint. And yeah, some baby plants. There's some Micans or Milano variegated. This, oh my god, this is really cool. Look at that. This is the Anthurium andrianum variegata. Interesting, right? Look at the leaves. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys are used to the green leaves for these, but the variegated is just so much more extra. I'm not sure if this is like a mint variety of the Tetrasperma, but this is a little bit different from the variegated. Interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if the mint variety hits the market because they've been propagated so much. This is 173 garden. There's a lot going on here. I quite like this booth because they really are quite diverse. I see some beautiful Plumeria variegated, Anthurium variegated, a lot of philodendrons up there. Feel free to slow down and pause the video if you see something of interest to you because I'm going fast and hot on this one.
Alright, I did vlog this at the time as a variegated hibiscus, but this clearly is not a hibiscus. So if you know what this is, feel free to comment down below. But I really like that they have these beautiful stipules on the stem like this.
And I don't know why people aren't like crazy about these variegated plumerias because they're seriously some of the prettiest variegated plants out there, maybe even fast growing, I'm guessing. But they do need very bright light. It's also a Homalomina, and I think it's also a mint type Homalomina. My gosh, look at that. Stunning, stunning. The new leaf has a little bit more green on it. These plumerias, they look very stubby and short. Look at how small the leaves are, almost like dwarf. It is the plumeria, right? I think it, or sorry, this might, sorry, not the plumeria, but they're often displayed side by side. This is the desert rose, adeniums. They have some very similar looking leaf, but yeah, these are actually almost caduciform type plants. Really cute and stubby. I adore these so much. This is the big plant, Nanny Rand Garden. Sometimes the booths are collabed, so there's two vendors in one. This is the Anthurium vitariifolium variegata. I'm actually gonna skim through a lot of these like common rare plants because I've covered them so extensively in the channel. I'm gonna try to focus on things that we have not really seen much of before. Like again, this is that adenium that we saw earlier. It's actually very beautiful. Look at that caudex that's forming. And then the leaves are so stunning. Wee plant grow. A lot of aroids here as well. This is what the booth look like. And a lot of these, I'm sure they do export because this is an international fair that we're in right now. And this is actually what I like in this booth. This is the Monstera Burl Marx Flame. We usually see them in smaller sizes, but look at them. I think now people are growing them a little bit bigger because they're now more readily available, but this used to be a gold rush for this plant. They used to be very, very expensive, but they actually have a beautiful form when they have matured up a little bit. Far East agriculture from Malaysia. A lot of Anthurium hybrids here, and as you can see, there are a bunch of photos in the background. We won't spend much time here, but feel free to find them on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm sure all this information is on there. But this is the price list for this current event, just so you know. Very good price, actually. But yes, I do want to reiterate that they do have a lot of hybrids. And I love that they display the hybrids like that with the mom and the dad. And sorry, I couldn't get really in there. In the booth, there's so many people, but the mom and the dad, you can see them side by side, and the seedlings are just down below here, so you can pick them out on kind of a random and see what you end up bringing home with you. Exotic Leaves Cutting, Living Collection Nursery in Chiang Mai. This actually belongs to Home, who has a booth here, Live with Plants. And apparently the display that we saw earlier in the front, that is not dead plants. Those are actually living plants, and those are cuttings. And I guess they do export cuttings from this nursery in Chiang Mai. So Home has a nursery in Bangkok, but this is a a Chiang Mai one. This looks like a nice variegated Monstera. I don't know if it's the Acuminata or whatever. There's so many varieties of variegated Monsteras coming out. This looks like the Adansonii, but I could be wrong. But there are actually many, many different species that are variegated coming in from Thailand. Rhaphidophora tetraspermas. And this one really stood out to me. My gosh, what are you? Look at this. This is like a kind of obliqua or an Adansonia that's mutated. Look at the variegation on this guy. This is really, really next level. It's like 3 layers of variegation on this plant. This is the Thai name. Unfortunately, I cannot provide the English name for this nursery, but it has literally a little bit of everything. It's got like the Homalomino, that's mint happening here. A lot of really interesting plants, but I want to take your eyes to this particular Scindapsus. Beautiful, right? This is quite something. And then some of these are going up the planks. A lot of the cuttings here as well. I really urge you guys to come visit if you have the chance. If you're into plants, whether you want to buy them, or if you just want to look at them, or if you're a business looking to expand your selections of rare plants, these shows are really wonderful. And this is also interesting. Look at this. Beautiful Scindapsus, my gosh. I've never seen this variety before. It's like almost frosty. Stunning. And then this is also a beautiful display of Scindapsus. This is from Indonesia, the Batikon. But every week, I think there's a new variety of Scindapsus that come out. That one's really, really stunning. I think that might be the cutting that we saw a bit earlier.
I am from the Plant House, Thailand. This is the Scindapsus native in Thailand. Scindapsus hederaceus mint. Yeah, this pattern is come from the light. If you get the less lighting, it will be green. This is like sorry. 3,500.
So is this discovered in the wild or in tissue culture or in propagation? Do you know?
This from the Thai forest.
From the forest?
Yes, from southern in Thailand.
Yeah. Is it slow growing because it's like so minty?
No, it's medium growing.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Will you look at this? This is a variegated begonia. Don't know the green form name, but look at the variegation on these. This is very, very adorable. We are in Thai Exotic Greenery where we did an episode.
Hello.
Or over here. And there's a lot of really interesting plants. Feel free to check out that video to see more interesting aeroids in the nursery because the nursery is enormous, it's huge. But today we will see 3 plants that Por want to recommend for this particular market.
This one, Orange Princess.
Orange Princess?
Yes.
So it's like Pink Princess, but it comes out orange.
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit about the history? How is it discovered?
I also don't know, but they come into the market and then this one is TC.
Tissue culture.
The plant that gives the orange color.
Okay, so there's one plant that mutated to give the orange, and then they tissue cultured it, and this is the clones that came from it.
Yes.
Interesting. you
Like
guys.
splash and also some sectorial, but nice color.
Yeah. Interesting. And this is the price in case you guys are interested to know.
Yes. This one, some interesting organ.
And this is a same?
Yes.
But this is like very beautiful, like a Thai constellation almost.
Yes. Very
Gorgeous.
good variegation.
So this one different price.
Same.
Okay.
Same. Else we got maybe over there.
All right.
This one.
Oh, so tiny. What am I looking?
Delta Force.
Okay. So Delta Force by seedling.
No.
Okay.
TC.
Wait. What? What? People can TC anthuriums now?
Some.
That's really cool.
Yes.
My gosh. And is this the siblings or not?
Shipling. So it will all look the same.
It will look the
Because
same
this
as
one from one mother plant.
Yeah.
Only.
Interesting. And you guys do export. So for those of you looking for tissue culture Delta Force, and reach out.
What else? There's some interesting. Monstera, Sweet Tropicana.
Ah, Celtibicana variegated. Though,
Yes. They will change the form later with
Yeah.
manifest.
Right? Fenestration. Right?
Yes, fenestration.
Beautiful. Cool.
Some nice.
Anthuriums.
Yes.
But I know that in your nursery you have a lot of beautiful anthuriums, but they're not ready for sale yet.
Yes.
Maybe like next year. Or the year after.
We are trying to make the seed from them
Yeah.
because like this color, I think
Yeah.
I only got one in my garden.
Yeah.
I have to make more that look like this to send into the market because one plant is not enough for the whole market.
Absolutely. Look how beautiful this is. Thank you so much for this. This booth is really soothing for the eye. I think it's those string lights up above, but the name is Born to Plants. I think they have a few different varieties of Monstera Thai Constellation. This one is a creme brulee at 22,000 baht. And this one is interesting. It's called the Monstera White Heart at 12,000 baht. Like hopefully, but these are the baby white hearts. Interesting. So if you want to look at how the adult form might look like, this is what the variegation look like up close. It's very minty, if you ask me. It's not like the same Thai constellation that we're used to. So the name of this booth is actually SSP Interlab. The contact information is on the screen. Pause if you want to reach out. But they do a lot of tissue culture. As you know, the Thai constellations, they do come from tissue culture. They're made in tissue culture. They do not exist in nature. But someone correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but that is the general knowledge for these plants. And so they have a few mutations and varieties of these. Look at all these baby Thai constellations. My gosh. I'm actually quite determined to collect the different varieties of the variegated Thai constellations, but they're still very, very expensive right now. But I'm patient. I just know that this is something that I'm quite into. And they make wonderful landscaping plants. And you know what, guys? After all that vlogging, we have only skimmed the outer surface. This is the main convention hall where there's most of the actions happening. And a lot of the international vendors are here. This is Michael DeAndrea from the United States. We did vlog this in the last episode filmed at Lana. He also has some interesting varieties of the Monstera Thai Constellation, some tricolors and the Simba and whatnot. So I don't know if there's some here at this time, but look at this. This is like really, really this variegated mint anthuriums here. That one is so darling. I don't know what this one is. But they are from the United States, and I know that many of my viewers are from the States. So feel free to reach out if you're interested in some of these interesting variegated or mutated plants. Philodendron tortum, variegated. This is quite lovely actually, with the palm-shaped leaves and just that bit of variegated details on them. This is quite nice. Now I did mention this in a few of my previous tour videos, the Barringtonia papuana, as well as the Syzygium jiuhui. These two plants have really strong implications for the houseplant market. They're still quite expensive now. I'm not sure how the pricing will work for these. It depends on how fast they are propagated, but these are actually really, really, really beautiful. A lot of people are collecting them these days. Some serious collector, they're beautiful foliage. So if this kind of striking foliage is something that attracts you, I would definitely pick these up. And these leaves can get enormous. They can get like an anthurium-shaped leaf, and they can grow into large trees. This one too, the Barringtonia papuana, can get into large, large trees. But this one really, really drew me. It's called the Asplenium king Philippines. I have something very similar. Now, the Asplenium tend to mutate quite a lot within the seedlings or the spores. So they can exhibit very different shapes and forms. This one is really, really quite elegant. Look at that. Look at all these beautiful fronds. Man, they form like a lettuce, almost like a vegetable. But viewing it from the top, look at that. This is really stunning. And there's some really interesting, I think, probably an Asplenium of some sort. Look at this one, my gosh. Look at that, oh man. Really interesting fronds. I don't know if I can pick this up. There you go. Yeah, sorry, this is a better view of the plant. Really stunning. And there's all these babies down here. They're very difficult to acclimatize, I guess. But other than that, I would totally want to bring one of these home. This is really stunning. This is the variegated Kaempferia. 800 baht. Really, really stunning. And this is also another variety, 500 baht. Look at that. They're actually very fast growing, but the thing with Camphuras is that they do go dormant. But I really would love to bring this in. Oh man. They're actually very easy to grow, very satisfying. Look at the way the new leaf unfurls. Mutual plants from Taiwan. I really adore this booth, my gosh. So there's these, I'm gonna insert a name on the screen, but this is the variegated variety of them. We had a whole booth of them. And this one, I just vlogged about this with Alvin in a plant cafe, Phalanthus neruri. Yeah, that's the name of the ID. But we saw this in a paludarium in a Taiwanese cafe, and it's large. They do have these fairy-like flowers over here, very dainty looking. And it's so cute to see the baby ones here. Some begonias. I think this is some kind of ficus that is being trellised up a bonsai. This is super stinking cute. My gosh, look at that. This is so cute. This is the Yama garden and wood garden. Philodendron serpents here, the tissue culture. A lot of tissue culture is coming in from Thailand. So yeah, this is the Philodendron Longulobedum lalanomiano. It's a hybrid, my gosh. This is a hybrid, my gosh. My first time seeing it. So by the way, I did mention that philodendron hybrids and the variegated forms of them are gonna be a thing. And they are definitely hitting the market now. So it's a bit overwhelming, but also interesting to see. This is the kind of Schismatoglotis. There's a Celada silver variegated, yellow variegated. Very, very fuzzy petiole. In my experience, this one doesn't want to live outside of a terrarium. Like I have to keep putting mine in a dome to keep it perky. And this one here is a beautiful begonia. My gosh, a variegated begonia. And if you guys are looking for tissue cultured Thai constellation, this is a whole bottle of them for 5,000 baht only. This is amazing. Look at them. They're like, save me, take me home. Look at that. Their faces pressed up against the glass. Very cute. This is a Philodendron golden Warzawiskii. And if I look at it, it's not only golden because they do come in a golden variety, but this is also variegated, you guys. And this is a philodendron that loves full sun. Jellyfish garden. Look at that photo shoot happening. That's a Alocasia culprea variegated. My gosh, let's take a closer look. Man, really, really stunning. Look at that. And this one, my gosh, this one leaf. This is really beautiful, really quite something. Look at how shiny and glossy they are. And then the back is like this. Sorry, it's a little bit loud here right now. Purple back. Another Camphuria variegated. I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but there's a sense of longing, of desperation for wanting this plant. But it's very difficult to bring them back. Variegated zone. So this is the tissue culture for a lot of variegated plants. As you can see here, there's so many varieties here. This one is like an Alocasia that's variegated. Feel free to look them up. Where possible, I'll try to include their information in the screen. This is really cute. Oh my gosh. Look at all these. It's like a lot of begonias, but also a lot of jewel orchids that are variegated. Feel free to pause the video. I'm gonna try to hold still so you can get a closer look at them. And also, by the way, my videos are filmed in 4K. So if you pause the video, if you select the 4K option, pause the video and zoom in, you'll be able to see some very high definition details. Look at this one jewel orchid here. The variegation is really, really stunning. Oh my gosh. And they also sell them in these single cups like that. And Aglaonema pictum tricolors. These are some really interesting looking Tetrasperma variegated. Look at that. The variegation is really, really quite interesting. Some of them look a little bit like minty. I actually haven't been to 2 of these shows. I skipped 2 of these shows and I feel like I'm missing out a lot already. There's some interesting new products that came out. Philodendron pinnatifidum, elbow variegated, and it's a species. And even the green form is a little bit rare, yes, let alone the variegated. And this is discovered in the United States or somewhere else? Okay. Interesting. It's got that Mayo eye look, fan-shaped leaf. That's cool.
The green plant was in production in the U.S.
Yeah.
but they cut it
Why?
for maybe popularity. So that's why it's remained rare. You know.
Okay. Cool. This is Bensport GYA Garden. Look at this dark leaf anthuriums, including this dark phoenix here. This is actually a stunning new leaf that's come out. But in this booth, I wanted to show you this. Look at the interesting color on this anthurium. It's almost like copper-like, and it's got this glittery bits of mint variegation on it. Really, really interesting. And just a bit of pink, the mustard. I don't know the name for this. It doesn't say, yeah, it just says 50,000 baht on this, but this is quite fascinating. So these Ardisia Cool Fire. We're seeing a lot of these in a few different booths, but I wanted to show you one up close. They actually look much darker in person. It doesn't show up well on the camera, but this is actually very, very beautiful. Ooh, and the name of this booth is BKK Rare Plants. Also, they have some interesting platyceriums. This looks like some kind of Ridleyi or maybe a hybrid of the Ridleyi because it's displaying a slightly different form. Stunning, almost like a lettuce or a cabbage. Look at this very silver begonia. This is incredibly silver. My gosh. Stunning. Man, I want this one. And this year we actually saw a few of these in the other booths, so they must be coming in quite hot in the Bangkok market. But this is the philodendron snowdrift, and they come in a smaller sizes as well. They're quite interesting. It's almost like a reverse variegation where the dominant color on the leaf is the variegated portion, but you do see these peekaboo bits of green on these. I have a feeling this is going to be a very slow growing plant, but they almost have like a minty surface on some of the leaves, and I really, really quite like that. They're very soothing for the eye. So this is the forest. They are a tissue culture lab, and before anything, I wanted to share you their contact information. The Facebook is going to be on the screen and a telephone number, but they make all these wonderful tissue cultured philodendrons. This is the Spiritus sanctii, and just so you know, this one is around 100 baht each, and then it is buy two get one free. And these are a little bit larger, 1500 baht, buy two get one free. This is the variegated Spiritus sanctii. It's 650,000 baht. Beautiful variegation on this. Look at that. It's amazing. Look at this beautiful green wall behind me. There's a lot of wonderful rare aroids here with like Spiritus sanctii, some dark leaf anthuriums, and the composition is just so beautiful. So there's a lot of possibility for the application of some of these rare aroids for the future houseplant market in these green walls. So everyone, this is Jen. We actually had an apartment tour. I'm gonna link that video up above so you can check out that episode. So Jen told us that she has found a new love for Alocasia variegated.
I'm into Alocasia now.
Yeah. And we're in a booth now with a lot of interesting Alocasias.
I like this is black velvet.
Ah.
The owner says he's grown this up for 2 years for this size.
Oh, that's slow.
Yes, quite slow and
It's flowering.
yes, it takes 2 years.
Yeah.
He said to me. And this one is my wish list very long time. Is Maharani variegated.
I see you bought a little baby one too, right?
I'm not sure Maharani is hybrid with black velvet crossed with melon.
Oh yeah, it could be, right? And then these guys, are they found from tissue culture or are they propagated by Andino?
I'm not sure.
Could be both, right?
Yes, and the big one behind you.
Yeah. The Cupria, I filmed this earlier. This is really, really gorgeous. But is it just me or this one is a bit more spider mites prone, the stingray?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every allocation.
it's spider mites prone. So you have very good control in your apartment now.
Learn so much and try to keep them healthy and for life. Yeah.
One last question. Are these kind of trending now in Bangkok or what is your...
It's really trending. I don't know where the trend is, and everyone come to me and yes, you have the Chantry eye variegated. Yeah.
Nice.
It's very popular. And,
Yeah.
and I have a big mama too. If you guys follow our shop and you will see I'm propagate them from home or everything, I will try to share some tips on my shops on Instagram. So please come and say hi to
Yeah, it's gonna be on the screen. Yeah, and they also do export. So
some. Thank you.
this is Tip Garden. A lot of anthuriums here. Some of them are dark leafed, but I want to bring your eyes to this one particular one here. It is extremely, I don't know, wavy. How would you call this? This is really, really interesting. If you look at that, all the leaves are wonderfully mutated into this. So sometimes when you grow anthuriums from seedlings, some of the siblings can display this wonderful behavior. And this is really, really eye-catching. And this is already setting seed here. So it's a good potential for a mother plant. This is Green Lover Orchid. And they actually have a bunch of different things here. They have the Thai constellation, a lot of interesting Belia Thai. Or it's possible that it's a hybrid with the Adaba Ponce because those are coming into the market. And then beautiful paintings here for Homalominas. Look at that, that's stunning. So sometimes if we have a challenging environment to grow plants, it's okay to get the paintings as well. This is another collaboration with two booths here. And what have caught my eye is this one here. I think we showed this once in Indonesia before. This is the Monstera Thai constellation that has that curl on the leaves as if someone took a curling iron. But look at how beautiful and dramatic those waves are on the leaves. More variegated Camphorias, stunning leaf. And here's the flower. There you go. How beautiful is that? This is really stunning. I really, really want one of these. Next booth, feel free to stop the screen and scan this to follow their socials. There are a few variegated alocasias here. And then some over here as well. Maybe we can have a better view from up above. Does any of them stand out to you? And also, if you look at this giant philodendron dragon, they're becoming quite common in Thailand. But I really adore this philodendron.
All right, we lost some audio, so we're going to do a voiceover for this. This is actually a hybrid created by Eus from Freesia Flora. We see his version later on in this episode. This next plant says Mandara variegated on the pot, but I have a feeling this is some kind of Dracaena, and it's got a beautiful marking and also it's variegated. If you look at the price tag, it's actually incredibly expensive. So I have a feeling this is a plant that is still pretty new, pretty rare in the market, but it is one that is actually very stunning. The next plant is the Aglaonema Siam Aurora variegated. Now I have a special place in my heart for the Siam Aurora because it is beautiful and it's also incredibly fast growing. It's easy Aglaonema that's forgiving, and this variegated version is actually very beautiful. When I see this plant, I want to say it's a anthurium, but it's possible that it's a mint peace lily or spathiphyllum. Let me know in the comment section what you think this is. At this point, I would not be surprised if this was actually a mint spathiphyllum. And next up, we've got a large mint alocasia. I don't know what species this is exactly, but look at how beautiful and how stable that mint variegation is on the leaves. The next booth is Tidal Tree, and they have here some beautiful variegated philodendron dragons. Now someone did tell me that these are quite unreliable with their variegation. You might see some reversion, but these guys seem to be quite okay here. And if you look at the specimen way in the back here, it's got such an interesting variegation around the edge. Now this is a hybrid that's new to me, the Philodendron Florida Beauty crossed with Squamiferum, and they're variegated. The next booth is OMG plants, and I see a lot of pictures of anthuriums up top, but when you see down below, these are actually more jungle type plants, and I think a lot of them are coming in from Indonesia. These are some variegated Scindapsus, and over there, I don't know what these are. They could be Piper or Dioscorea, it could be something else entirely, but it's got such interesting intense coloration. And there's just throngs and throngs of jungle plants that are variegated, and they're coming into the market quite hot. A lot of them don't retain their value because they do propagate propagate quite easily, and there's so much to choose from these days. And over here, this is a Piper that's variegated. Look at how complicated the variegation are on these. And there's another one down below, and I think this is a slightly different variegation. This is the Aglaonema pictum tricolor, and these ones actually have beautiful white in the middle of the leaf if you look at it closely, and they've held up their value quite well. This is actually not cheap, running it at 33 US dollars. They used to be around $100 about 3 to 4 years ago, but I guess now they've come into propagation. Next to it, there's a basket of slightly smaller sized Aglaonemas, and these are $22.50 US dollars. Now there's a jungle plant here that really piqued my interest. It says Dioscorea sp, and it's quite expensive at $70-50 US dollars. But look at how intense the coloration is on this. And if it's a Dioscorea, I would bet that they are actually quite fast growing, because some of them are actually weeds in nature. But something tells me that these guys might be more terrarium plants that likes more humidity, because there's so much fuzz, so much hair on the leaves. Now this next plant, you're gonna have to shout out the ID if you know what it is. I came across this a long time ago, but I think this is an aroid, or I could be wrong. And there's a huge basket of them down below, and their leaves are actually quite striking. The next booth is called Pure Orchids, but I don't see any orchids here. What I see on the floor here is a beautiful variegated alocasia that's yellow variegated, and this is actually quite stunning. This is an easy alocasia to grow, and the variegated just give it so much extra detail. Look at this anthurium. This variegated anthurium is just so stunning. Check out my last episode. I toured a colorful foliage exhibition in Thailand with wonderful anthurium foliage like this. The next plant is the Philodendron micans variegated. Look at how striking these variegations are. Now, we saw this coming into the market about 2 years ago, but some of them had really poor variegation and they were so expensive. And I know that a lot of these growers are selectively propagating them for the best variegation traits. And now we're seeing them come into market in more supply. And look at how stunning these are. Actually, this is on my wish list. And these would be so easy to just sneak into the luggage. This next plant is some kind of variegated costus, but that is my best guess. The price is actually okay, but if this is a costus, it can actually get quite big and they would flower beautifully. But I could be wrong. There's some beautiful variegated palm here. It says it's not a dwarf, which means that these are probably still very young. The next booth is called Adiantum Time. This is such a cute name for a booth. And there's some interesting plants here. So there's an Amorphophallus back there. And these are some strappy Camphorias. We've seen this in the last show in Chiang Mai. They can actually get quite large and they really are quite lazy and floppy on the leaves. If I'm not wrong, these guys are native to eastern Thailand, so we see quite a lot of them coming into stock from there. This is an Amorphophallus and it's about to bloom. This is what the leaves look like. I can't for the life of me remember what the species is, but look at that beautiful pink rim around the edge of these leaves. Amorphophallus, they grow one leaf at a time, so when one leaf come out, they will die and then another one would sprout in its place. And they do have a tuber in the middle, like a potato. And here are some beautiful forest plants. We did cover the dainty fairy-leafed ones, but if you see down below, there are some bat pipers, bat like the animal. And if you look in the back, that's this beautiful crimson red begonia with such intense texture. The next booth is called Worth It, the Plant House and Sunstar. They have an interesting Philodendron White Knight that is like a constellation type variegation. It's just called the marble, but if you look again closely at the variegation, they look a lot like the Thai constellation. And Philodendron White Knights are actually easy to grow. They're fast growing. They're so much fun and so easy to propagate. So yeah, and this price for 1,000 baht is actually not a lot at all. The next booth is Tree Garden HU. I don't know where they're from, but they have this massive platycerium in the front. Now, platyceriums are actually very trending in Southeast Asia now, at Thailand, Singapore, in Taiwan, and Indonesia. If you saw my Indonesia plant tour episode in the exhibitions, you'll see that most of the booths are platycerium. They've almost overtaken anthuriums in the sale. This is Platycerium Healy Raijin, and you can see the babies correspond behind the stickers. More platyceriums in this booth. So they have some of these curly leaves platyceriums if you see around the back. Now in the front they do have some interesting jungle plants. But those curly fronds really call out to you, don't it? Look at how beautiful they are. They look like someone took a curling iron to it. Now this is slightly different from the Fong Si Chi one, which is a hybrid from a well-known Malaysian. But these ones are really, really intensely curly from the get-go, from the beginning of the frond all the way to the very end. There's so many different types and forms and mutations of these platyceriums. There's a lot to enjoy about them. I'm actually starting to collect them myself, so I now have about 5 or 6 different platyceriums in my care, although I tend to get the more common varieties rather than the rare ones because they're so expensive at this time, and I know that their prices will stabilize. And this next plant, I have something similar. It's simply called the ostrich fern in Bahasa Indonesia. So I don't really know the name for this, but it is a mutated or a hybrid form of the Asplenium. Now this next booth, the Aroid Studio and VP Tropical Plants, they have some interesting philodendrons here. This is some kind of variegated philodendron that looks almost like a Thai constellation. It could be an arabescens. It's potentially an orange princess. We saw a tiny version of the plant earlier, but I could be entirely wrong about it. And down here you've got a beautiful, I think, pink princess, but it's some kind of variety of pink princess that is like super mutated. Look at how different it is from the pink princess that we usually know. There's some kind of a minty quality to the leaves. I'm actually quite captivated by this plant, but I don't even dare to ask the price because this is so rare that I think it's going to be so expensive. The next booth is Nymflora. This is a tissue culture lab. Now there's maybe like 5 or 6 tissue culture labs in this exhibition, so feel free to reach out on your own, but Thailand has a fledgling market for the tissue culture plants, and these here I think are variegated alocasias in the jars. Facaded Garden, we did vlog here. They shared some interesting Hubertia tips in the last episode when we filmed it in Chiang Mai called Lana Exotic Plant Exhibition, if I'm not wrong. Check out that episode for some interesting Hubertia care. These guys are actually specialists for jungle plants and Hubertias, and they're very passionate, and their care tip was actually quite wonderful. Now I see there's an interesting fern all the way in the back, so I asked for a closer look, and it looks really, really stunning. Imagine the breeze blowing the leaves. It's got this like feather-like quality to it. The next booth is Amazon Garden and Sometime Plants. There's this interesting photo of a monstera. I've not encountered this before, and I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the name, but this is what the mature fenestrated leaves look like because monsteras do get large when you let them climb and they fenestrate. And there's some really interesting monsteras here as well in the back. I think these are obliquas, but a different unusual form of obliqua. And when you see back there, look at all these variegated monsteras. And the front, you see some aurea variegated, and in the back, you see some Thai constellations. Again, the Thai constellations that we see in the market these days are very different from the ones that our parents grew, the ones that we see in landscaping in Florida and things like that, because they have kind of mutated. They've been selectively chosen for different traits. So the variegation is more sectoral. There's more sections of variegations. And if you ask me, the colors have become a little bit more silvery. That's sort of the desired traits for the Thai constellation these days.
Green room planter, and this is a gloriosum here that is variegated. Look at the interesting variegation on these. This is a very, very fantastic mutation. I don't think this will ever form that heart-shaped leaf because of how crazy the variegation here is, but it's really, really interesting to see. And then of course here you have your variegated UPIs. There's a lot of really interesting variegated anthuriums, and that monstera. I don't know what this one is, the Thai constellation that is a mutated form. And this is Kiro Garden. Interesting, look at that. This is some kind of philodendron. Don't know the name for this one. Anthurium, look at how wonderfully variegated that anthurium is. Precious. We do see a lot of tetraspermas in the market, but they all have slightly different variation and variegation. Look at that glorious philodendron UPI. Beautiful variegation on that. And then they also have a lot of these variegated plants over here. More tetrasperma, alocasia, variegated. Kida Nursery, a very, very large rare aeroid supplier, hunter, collector. They've been participating in a lot of these shows, so they have a lot of specimens of these variegated aeroids. Some of them are in the large forms, and if you follow the Instagram, you'll see that they post regularly all this interesting rare form that is discovered. They spend a lot of money to invest in these mother plants to propagate. So this is one to watch out for if rare aeroids are your type of thing. We're not going to spend too much time here. There's a lot of people, but I'm going to give you guys just a quick glance around. So this is apparently the Anthurium silver Peru. How stunning is that? It looks nothing like an Anthurium, but it is one. And the fact that they're propagating and selling single leaf cuttings means that they're probably very sought after now. Very rare. And apparently Kida has a lab, maybe. He's producing these tissue cultures, so more people can access some of these rare plants. What a cute display. Reach out if you're interested to export some rare plants. Kida is an excellent supplier. Variegated cannabis, stunning. Look at the variegation. I've seen these from afar, but not once from this close up. Beautiful, my gosh. The cannabis is actually a very beautiful plant. If you're open-minded about the other kinds of properties that they have. Do you see that ZZ Raven leaf back there? That looks insane, doesn't it? I don't know why it looks like that, but I'm into it. Pink Fa Garden. They seem to specialize in Homalomina, and I'm pretty sure there's many varieties of them here. They have kind of eluded me for a long time. I know that some of them are like pink variegation, some has yellow, some has white. There's many species of Homalominas. They're actually quite fast growing for an aeroid. They don't want to dry out as much as their philodendrons. But as you can see, this booth is rather popular. People are inquiring. And over there, we see some people are packing some of these plants. But these four corners, I think, or at least three corners, you can see all this sea of Homalominas. Honestly, I thought that their fad died down quite quickly with Homalominas, but I am seeing quite a lot of them in stock in this market. So maybe they are having a bit of a resurgence. Same as the alocasias, the variegated alocasias. They seem to be coming back with a lot of vengeance. And look at that massive pot over there. I guess if you grow them big, they form a clump. And that looks actually very, very beautiful, almost like a Renaissance painting. So I'm really rethinking my Homalomina. I mean, when you buy them, they look small and like little pots like this. But if you can grow them into a clump like that over there, I'm quite convinced to take on some of these. Hello, this is their Facebook. Feel free to follow on their Facebook. My gosh, look at these. How would you even describe this color? It's like a salmon pink, bit of a sunset orange. But when you see a sea of them, they actually look quite beautiful. And I think these are still single vines. But the thing with Homalominas is that they do invariably put out pops. They are unstoppable once you get them going. And then they will form these clumps. Like, look at that one there. That is actually a beautiful pot of them. Imagine that in your landscaping setting. It's actually quite beautiful. Or like, next to like a furniture in a bright indoor spot. That's actually really, really quite beautiful. And that one leaf here, the variegation is so stunning. Yeah, I see that now the Pink Fa Garden has taken over 4 booths. That is insane. Sometimes we can tell how well a business is doing just by the number of booths that they have taken on in a show like this. And as you can see, people are just like inquiring. I didn't want to film anyone's faces, but people are asking questions about these Homalominas. And I know I've covered a lot of mint monsteras on the channel before, but look at this. How glorious is that? Pao Pao Orchids from Germany. And if I'm not wrong, they do participate in nearly all of these shows. I've seen their names on every event handbook, but this is really beautiful. So they specialize in Paphiopedilome orchids. Look at how beautiful this is in bloom. I spoke to one of the owners in the last episode at Lana about their care. Apparently they do really well indoors if you give them a bit of a hack. And they're huge in Germany and also in Vietnam. Look at how stunning this is. And you have these dainty ones that are a little bit more understated. There's Venado Tropical by Jean Onari. And they told me that they have sold out most of their bromeliads. But we did talk about this in our last tour in Chiang Mai. You want to say hello real quick? Hi. And yeah, I guess these are some of the bromeliads that are left over, but this is really, really stunning. It really brightens my day to see these amongst all the aroids. That one is beautiful up close. Yeah, bromeliads are best admired from the side, from above, from below. They're quite beautiful, and that one there too, in the little pots. Nice. And they form clumps, and that's why I love bromeliads. I love plants that kind of form clumps of their own. But I'm glad that they did well, and they mostly sold out. Oh man, look at this. I think this might be a kind of Cryptanthus in the Bromeliaceae family, but I could be wrong. Look at how beautiful frosty the leaves are. My gosh, this is really, really quite stunning. And all that complex colors. I mean, imagine this being like a fabric, because I used to work in fashion, so I'm really, really into these like interesting iridescent silver, really complicated color combination that words can't describe. Maranta lemon lime. Do you guys remember when this was a thing? I keep finding these beautiful VD ravens that are variegated. The more we explore, the more we see them. This one has a pink variegation. Look at all these babies that are propagating away. I've actually seen a lot of Sansevierias, but this one really, really stuck out to me. This is really stunning. Look at how milky white that is. It's very soothing to look at this. And of course, they have many interesting shapes and forms. They do hybridize quite readily, so there are a lot of hybrids to choose from. These are really cute too. They're ready to be brought home. Look at how satisfying that looks. Very, very symmetrical.
Hi, this is Dr. J of Arid and Aroids. And Boyd Kanigan of Arid and Aroids. These are the plants we created from the Philippines, variegated Sansevieria, which is a mutated breeding program done by my partner, Dr. J. Yeah, we hybridize it using our own technique. Only in the Philippines, and also we create a lot of plants like hibiscus, anthuriums, philodendrons, etc., etc.
Okay.
So that's from Arid and Aroids.
And I guess your social media will be on the screen, so please follow these guys.
Yes, follow Boyd D. Ganigan and, of course, Arid and Aroids. So for the updates of the plants we produce.
This is a banana nono. Look at how beautiful the variegation is. I know I featured this on the channel before, but this particular one is cute. And it's small, but it'll get large. Look at that one there too. This one leaf is like a painting. My gosh. And we are in the booth of Aqua Genera from Ecuador. Look at all these fresh green plants that have just come in. But over here, this is a particular one that you wanted to show us.
Yes, here we have a few new crosses. As you can see, there is many new crosses, and we have choose always the dark ones. Like this is a cross with the Luxurians. We call it Raven Soul because it's so dark. You can see the nice dark leaves. There is one more that is very, very interesting. A cross with Splendidum. Because Splendidum is very difficult to grow.
Yes,
and this is a cross with Splendidum, and we call it Splendidiban.
Okay.
This is so the crosses with Splendidum, we are doing it quite often now because they are harder. How can you say, the pure Splendidum is a little harder to grow, but with the cross, grows much better.
Nice. Do you know what cross this is with? Splendidum cross?
Yes, we have here with Crystallinum, Splendidum with Crystallinum. And then we have here Splendidiban, which is another cross with, I have to check it out, the other one. Yes.
Thank you.
Now this booth, it just says something Florida, so it's a little bit confusing. But I wanted to show you some interesting plants here. This is a type of alocasia, and it's beautiful. Look at the sort of a minty variegation with a bit of green. But if I can take your eyes to this one here, and actually there's a little pot to the side. Maybe, oh sorry, the information's on the screen here, so if you want to give them a follow. But look at this one here. This is completely mint. How insane is that? Look at that. Oh my gosh. This is really, really quite stunning. Look at the underside as well. Really beautiful. Here, my gosh, look at all these. I think this is the Anthurium chamberlaini, or a hybrid of those. But this got the signature leaf that comes out dark, dark, dark red and glossy. And they turn green over time. They're actually quite wonderful to look at. Really, really wonderful. And the flower looks like that, a little, pretty low, close to the ground. But every time the new leaf comes out, it's actually really, really cheerful. This is Tasson's Craft Garden and Spa Garden. It's a collaboration booth. A lot of interesting, large aroid here. A lot of them are variegated. Let me come around the booth to show you more. It's actually overwhelming when you see so many plants in one day. I don't know if you guys are feeling as overwhelmed as I am, but Tasson is well known for his Thai constellation. I think Platinum, was that the name of it? But it's a variety of the Thai constellation that is almost like minty in the texture. But it is a form of the Monstera Thai constellation that looks almost a little bit minty, creamy, beautiful Aglaonema. Look at this. Is it just me, or are the leaves like cup shaped? Look at that. The leaves kind of curl in on itself. This is very adorable, actually. And then here you have like the almost all white mint monsteras. Beautiful. Look at that. You want to say hi? This is Mundi Flora Farm from Ecuador. Again, very similar way of selling with Ecogenera. Very, very healthy plants that we just brought in. But I really am adoring this Anthurium warocqueanum. Look at how healthy this plant looks. It's so fresh. My gosh. And there's this beautiful Andreanum variegated. I guess they're coming into the market quite a bit. I used to think that they are very rare, but now I see a few vendors do have them. So maybe those of us who want one of these can now attain it. And this is Takashi Kitayama. He's from Japan. Now he specializes in a lot of these variegated forest plants, and I think a lot of them are like from Indonesia. This one here is the Conundrum, I don't know. But his plants are actually extremely, extremely rare. Some beautiful Alocasia Frydek variegated below. And this here is a Monstera deliciosa full mint. How beautiful is that? Look at that. Oh. And then here you have some Scindapsus happening. Philodendron, red arabescens, marble, aurea. Stunning. And there's so many really rare varieties grown in Japan. A lot of interesting mutations. And I'm glad to find something from Japan being represented here. This is an ant plant. Most of them are from Indonesia, but they are actually quite big in Japan. Live with plants. This is actually Holmes. Holmes is the organizer for this event. So we will see some wonderful plants. I did do a tour at his house a while back. He collects everything. He's a lover of every type of genus, every type of plant. I see some Piper here, some Dischidia happening over there. Yeah, I do see some really, really beautiful variegated Piper here. And a lot of, I think, Epipremnums, or sorry, these are Rhaphidophorus, variegated. This looks to me like that that mutated Gloriosum that we saw earlier. Yeah, give him a follow. He's very low-key on social media, but he has some of the rarest plants. Look at this one. It says it's the Emydrium medium aurea. So it's a medium variegated, yellow variegated. They're rather fast growing. This is really funky. I think this is the Gloriosum, but look at its camouflage pattern. Man, there's a lot to take in, even in this terrarium alone. There are quite many varieties of Gloriosums in here. So yeah, it can be overwhelming if you're trying to collect all of them, but I really adore seeing them like in these shows. This is insane. It's a Aglaonema rotundum variegated from Sumatra. This is really, really crazy. I don't know if I can get close to it. Yeah, it's not gonna focus. And look at all these plants that are sold. And I see a little bit of that Lea amabilis peeking out from the back. It's a beautiful plant. And I did a video of it recently. This one, it says Anthurium orthodores, but look at the cup-shaped leaves. Something tells me this looks like the dorayaki, but I could be wrong. But I really, really adore this. Look at the silver on these leaves.
This is the booth of Indonesian Aroid Society, and as you can see, there are a lot of beautiful anthuriums here. A lot of anthuriums are actually coming out of Indonesia, some wonderful hybrids, as well as some interesting philodendron hybrids, such as this one here, the Philodendron Florida Beauty crossed with Tortum, that is made by Eus from Freesia Flora. So his product has been spread out now. A lot of people have them, and everyone's selling them at different prices. But this is an incredible hybrid. Now, this is a relatively new plant. It is the Aglaonema pictum bicolor, so it's not the tricolor, but it's got two colors and it's variegated, so it's something that's just come out of the Indonesian market. This next plant is the Alocasia mint. I'm not sure what species this is, but the mint seems to be very stable throughout all the leaves, and it actually looks like it's got a million spider mite bites on it. If you've grown alocasias and you've seen spider mite bites before, you know that they can look a little bit like this mint.
This is Lana foliage. There's a lot of interesting aroids all around here, but this one caught my eye. This is actually an Alocasia. Beautiful minty variegation on this. And there's a hardworking lady here doing a live sale. I believe this is for the Philippines. Beautiful Florida gold dragon, variegated, and this painting behind it, it's really out of this world. I really love watercolor paintings for variegated plants. And this is really beautiful too. Look at this. I don't know if this is the dragon or this is like some kind of Florida beauty, but beautiful. Look at this setup here. This is so stunning. That like one of the most stunning ones I've seen in today's show. Probably an arabescens because it's got a red petiole, but look at how intensely variegated that looks. Look at the color combination of that leaf, that's insane. And then this one Alocasia, my gosh, it's got like white variegation, but then like the newest leaf has a green on green variegation. Oh my gosh, and that one has a little bit of pink around it on the leaves. Very, very beautiful setup here. Here is their contact information if you're interested in their products. This is Agom Farm. And this is that curly Thai constellation. We saw one from a bit of distance earlier, but this one you can see up close. The wonderful curls on the leaves. Also, this here is called the white snow. So this is really, really quite stunning. There's so many names for these. That's the platinum. Also quite stunning. I mean, look up close. I can't tell one apart from the others. Maybe you can. And this is a UPI. A lot of people have been selling these. This is the yellow variegated. So hopefully one day they will become a little bit more affordable. The black cardinal variegated. They kind of look like the Ficus elastica variegated. Now normally when I see a Rhaphidophora variegated, I kind of just walk by without giving them much attention. But this one, particular one, called out to me because look at the new leaf. It's strapping down really, really beautifully. Oh my gosh, beautiful variegation on these two. Green room planter and Kiro garden. Let's look at some of these interesting rare succulents and cacti. This is the Dercaria madagascariensis. Beautiful. I've been seeing these quite a lot in different plant markets. 1,500 baht. This is actually quite affordable. They actually become really beautiful small trees or shrubs. And then all these agaves, I believe, look at how stunning they are. And then Welwitschia mirabilis over here. Someone posted this, that they've managed to grow multiples, hundreds and hundreds of these sustainably, so they're not poached from the wild. So some Thai sellers will probably have this on sale in a sustainably sourced fashion, and hopefully they will also become a little bit more affordable. This is a desert plant from Madagascar that grows only 2 leaves in its whole lifetime, and the center will grow like this crazy looking mouth that looks like it's about to eat you. This is also very stunning, very sinister looking. This here looks to me like an Emydrium medium that is maybe mint. How stunning is that? The variegation is beautiful. This is the typical Emydrium medium leaf. They don't get very big, but then they tend to put out runners. Like look at this, this one runner is putting out like crazy, and then they will find an ideal condition before they will sprout leaves. Oh my God, this is like a Philodendron bobsea. I think I might have seen the variegated one before, but this one looks interesting. Look at the minty type variegation. This is 600 baht, 6,000 baht I mean. Stunning. This is also a booth from Ecuador. Look at all these Warocqueanum perched along the side of the box like this. Very, very cute. This next booth says Aglaonema Nursery. Of course, they have a lot of Scindapsus here. We're gonna skim right through this because we've covered a lot of Scindapsus. But look at all these Aglaonemas here. So Thailand and Indonesia are very strong with their Aglaonema industry. This is really, really stunning. Look at that, they're all just coming into stock. Beautiful coloration on these. Man, and this is really stunning too. They're just restocking over there, which means that they probably did well. When I passed by this store earlier, there were a lot of people here. But look at this stunning, stunning Aglaonemas. I don't know the names for these. I don't know if I've seen these in Indonesia before. But look at this one aberrant one here with a little bit of red. So rebellious, right? Look at them, this is so beautiful. And that one is really, really interesting on its own because it is very strange. The color combination is really, really quite interesting. And that one next to it too, this is really, really stunning. I've not seen most of these Aglaonemas before. And that one, I get the old leaf versus the new leaf. The new leaf is so beautiful, it's almost translucent. This is really, really quite beautiful. This clump here, this is beautiful. Look at the pattern on these, oh my gosh. Wow. This has rotundum on it, but I've not really seen a lot of Aglaonemas with these like uneven color tones around it, almost as if it's variegated. I have a feeling that this is in fact some kind of variegation because it's so sporadic. And this is what the Aglaonema looks like. It's a smaller plant. And look at all these, oh my gosh. I'm in Aglaonema heaven here. I really need to find out more about this supplier. This is 500 baht. It's actually very, very affordable. My gosh, look at the back of the leaf versus the top of the leaf. And look at this one too. This is so beautiful. My gosh, look at the color combination. There's like a bit of a salmon pink action going on there with the red splash and tones of green. Man, this is really stunning. This is the information for the next booth. Beautiful Biliatai here. But look at that, there's a lot of Homalomenas, and I think they all are different. If you look at the differences between the variegation, so interesting, man. This is really turning into a Homalomena video. Look at all these, some of them have like a new leaf that is like almost white. But I think I have a feeling they fade into green over time. Look at this one too. This is almost like a minty with a bit of pink undertone, and then it turns into green. And these are a little bit more minted. Man, this is really a bit overwhelming. And those are the bigger plants back there. This booth is also in a Thai name, so I cannot translate it for you. But this is a really, really interesting alocasia. I think Lauterbachia, variegated. Look at the new leaf coming out. And wow, the variegation is really, really stunning for this plant. And that one too, that is a smaller one of those. This is a Pomalomena erubescens. Look at how beautiful the variegation is, and when it's a clump like this. Because sometimes when we buy them as a tiny plant like this, and we cannot tell its beauty, its full potential for beauty. And this is really, really quite stunning. Of course, many, many forms of the Pomalomenas. Really surprised by this. All right, I think we're done here. We've gone through almost every booth, and as you can see, it's very, very hectic, and I'm very, very tired. And I hope that you discover some interesting species to add to your wish list. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Is anyone there? All right, if you're still here, that probably means one of two things. Either you really enjoyed the episode, in which case I really implore for you to please send the video a like and do comment down below. YouTube really, really heavily rewards creators that have strong engagements, and it will push my videos to other plant lovers like yourself. Or maybe you've got your hands dirty with laundry, or you're washing dishes, or you're putting away things and you didn't have the hands to click away from this video. In which case I apologize, because I'm gonna keep talking. Now, being a content creator these days is getting harder and harder, and ad revenues are going down, and I really want to make this my full-time job to create wonderful content for you guys. And I've given up a lot of wonderful opportunities so I can stay here on YouTube. So if you'd like to support the channel financially, there are two ways, but if you don't, that's okay as well. Just watching these videos give me tremendous support. So keep on watching. And for the rest of you who are doing well and you have extra means to donate, you can do so with my Patreon, or you can join my YouTube member. Click join on the members tab here. And in both cases, you will get bonus contents. And these are all mini bite-sized adventures, repotting, and like little shopping sprees. And I've also uploaded a resource of all the sellers in Southeast Asia that I've visited. They are usually reputable sellers, and they do export. So whether you are looking into plants as a customer, or if you're a business that are looking to import plants from Asia, these are really wonderful resources that's only open to members. And for YouTube members, you also have early access to some of these episodes. And for those of you who do not want to commit to a monthly situation, you could also do a one-time donation by sending a super thanks over here on YouTube. Now, I've actually done a ton of videos, and chances are you might have missed out some of them. So in my playlist section, I have categorized them by categories like propagation videos, care videos, and adventures. And you can maybe look through at some of the older videos as a means to support the channel, because I really do think that there are some content out there that I've done that you might have missed that you would find interesting. But I'm really going to bid you farewell this time. Thank you again for watching this all the way to the very end. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.